let's move on to the next thing, guys. This is time for We Got Your Mail. So We Got Your Mail, you know, we take your questions, your comments, your concerns, and we talk about it right here on the show. And we're gonna do that again. Let's go through the week's questions, and we'll have some answers for you, or maybe we'll give you, like WandaVision, more questions. So what's the first one this week?
Hashtag don't know what to name my channel said, I want to know if this is in any relation to the book.
Was it for WandaVision? For Cruella de Vil, yeah, on the same topic of what we were just talking about a minute ago. Sorry about that. I was delayed on the graphic. If I think from what I've read, I think it's gonna be based on the animated the 101 Dalmatians film and on the book. From what I understand,
I feel like that was somewhere in my brain as knowledge, but
for the book, I didn't before I saw that question, I didn't know that there was a book. I thought 101 Dalmatians was a Disney original screenplay adaptation.
Yes.
So is there there's a Cruella de Vil book, I think, called something about Cruel World or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. It might be something about that. And because I briefly looked it up.
No, it's based on the 101 Dalmatians, a 1956 children's novel, if that's what they're referring to.
Was the novel based on the cartoon, or was the cartoon based on the novel?
It was based on, the movie was based on the novel, because the novel came out in 1956.
I wouldn't doubt it if it's going to be more based on the book. I mean, usually
it is a children's novel, so I don't know if they have that much how much they have to go off.
Yeah, Disney didn't have any original stories back then. Disney like whether you want to admit it or not, of you guys out there, Walt Disney had a thing where they wanted you to believe he invented all these stories, but they did not. Walt Disney, and I remember I learned this when I went to college, the Art Institute, actually. There was like an unwritten campaign. They wouldn't admit it out loud, but they wanted children to believe that Walt Disney invented cartoons. So don't believe everything that Disney's trying to put. That's propaganda, people. But I think it is going to be based on. I don't think it's going to 100% be based on just the cartoon. So yeah, it's going to probably be based on the novel, because they want to probably make it darker, make it different than.
I'm sure they'll just make up some random stuff too, because I don't feel like she's a super well fleshed out character. Yeah. Like, she's super fun, but. And
we were talking about earlier.
I don't think this backstory is coming from much of anywhere.
Yeah. And we were talking about whether or not are we going to sympathize or feel sorry for her. And at first I thought that this was going to be just like I think they learned their lesson from Maleficent. A lot of people did not like the fact that we made Maleficent a character that we felt like she was a hero, and the bad things she did was justified. They wanted our villains to stay villains. I think Cruella will be a straight up villain. We might see her as a child.
Yeah, as much as what she did was messed up, even in the story, there's a bit of a like, the hell, you didn't invite me. And like that extrapolates more easily into like, she feels left out. She's this outcast, whatever. And Cruella's like, I'm rich and fabulous, and I want to make a dog coat. Like, what?
Exactly. I think we're only going to feel sorry for her for like 5 minutes. We're going to see her as a kid, and she's going to be treated badly. And then she's going to grow up and be like, fuck all you guys, I'm killing your dogs. Yeah. So we're going to see.
Like I said, dog killing, I feel like, is the line no one will ever.
Oh, yeah. Like it didn't matter how many athletes did this against a woman, or this against another person or a fan or anything like that. The second Michael Vick did something against a dog, that was it. It was like he can never be forgiven. I'm like, it's just how we are when it comes to animals. Mm-hmm. What's the next question we have?
Billy Bob has just saw you on a court show. LOL. Was it real or scripted?
Yeah, that confused me. Like, was that towards you? What was that?
Yeah, no, it definitely was.
You got some explaining to do, Lucy.
I actually, I suppose the weirdest part of all this is my question would be which one? Listen, I don't know how much I'm technically allowed to say. Being an actor in LA is hard, and you take the gigs you can get. I guess I'll just leave it at that. Paycheck's a paycheck, Billy Bob. But that's very, very funny that you caught that.
See, you got fans that are watching. And
let me know, Billy Bob. Let me know if you see this. Let me know which one you caught me on.
You know what? I used to. I haven't done it in the past like couple of weeks. Usually when we do a "We Got Your Mail" segment, I will tag and each person who submits the question in and let them know, like, here's the link and timestamp it to when their question comes up. And I didn't do it for the last 2 weeks. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it takes a lot of time out of my week to do something like that. And in the future, I might not do it anymore. I haven't done it in the last 2 weeks, but I think this week I'll pick that up again. So I'll tag Billy Bob and let him know, hey, we answered your question. Here's the link. Here's the timestamp. And
I assume it was because I did one a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then I did one like end of last year.
Yeah.
Virtually. So I'm guessing it's the older one. I don't know if that's still like in syndication.
So you got super fans. You got super fans that's looking out for, like, Amy, you're in
I don't
court.
think he was seeking out my appearance on Judge whomever.
Amy Newman is an actress for hire.
Like an NDA or anything. I don't know why I'm trying to be so secret about it.
I don't know if you're under an embargo and you can't mention it.
If I happen to have been in two separate TV-based legal.
She's like, which one? You know, I've been on Cops.
I mean, Billy Bob, I guess I'll just say this. My name's Amy Newman, and that's not my name either time. So
okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah.
An answer to your question.
Amy is an actress for hire, so you know she got a lot of things out there she's done. Hey, it's a good opportunity to plug it. Look for her YouTube channel and check out her miniseries, Your Biggest Fan. So go check it out, guys. Oh, did you get my message? You need to put a picture on your YouTube channel. Did you get?
Why are you like calling me out right now?
Because that's what I do. Because I'm a bitch. Okay. Because I'm a bitch.
That's fair. I need to get 100 subscribers so I can actually get a real YouTube channel name.
You can't do it under 100.
No, you can't.
Oh, now I feel bad, guys. No, I don't feel bad. You guys should all feel bad. You love Amy and you're not following her on her channel. Follow her on her damn YouTube channel because you love her. And I'm telling you, go check out her show.
The best way to get through it is if you follow me on any social media.
Yeah.
I have links like.
Follow all of Amy's social media on YouTube, Instagram, everything. Just do it, damn it, because you guys love her on this channel. So support her.
I love attention, so much. Guys.
She loves attention, and you know me.
My boyfriend has had to give me the attention of everyone else who I normally see in a day.
Exactly. And you know me, I'm a huge bitch. I'm going to bitch about this. Guys, follow Amy. All right, what's the next one we got?
Sharad
Vemalanathan?
I super apologize if I butchered that, Sharad. Asking about WandaVision, asking if Wanda's able to bring back the dead or extract people from alternate realities, why couldn't she summon the spirit of Charles Xavier, who could guide her into controlling her abilities?
Because she doesn't know who Charles Xavier is.
That's one. Also, I feel like the bringing back from the dead or alternate reality thing was purely a Vision thing. Like if we're going off of sort of this is like something she's created in her immense grief, like I don't think she would be like, I'm just going to do this with whomever. Like, I think that would, though it does always, I mean, it's always the issue when you start creating those kind of stories, right? Like anything with like time travel or alternate realities, or it instantly becomes like, I feel like it's one of the big issues.
Do me a favor, because something's happening outside my door. I need to go check real quick. Kind of elaborate on that a little bit more. Give me 1 minute.
This is so stressful. I feel like even with something like it's one of the big plot questions, if not full out plot holes with Harry Potter, is like once you've established that time turner, everything that has happened in the series becomes like, why didn't we go back in time and save Harry's parents? Why didn't we go back in time and like jump through time and like save all these good people who died? So I feel like the second you start bringing up like we can bring people back to life or extract people from alternate realities, that does become honestly kind of a plot hole question. But yeah, I don't think she knows who Charles Xavier is. I honestly don't know if she wants. I think she's probably, it feels like where we're coming to that she might realize she needs help controlling these abilities, controlling these powers. But as of right now, it feels sort of like I don't think she's ready to admit yet sort of how out of control this is. For one, I mean, it's an interesting question. It's certainly something that would be cool to see happen. But yeah, like I said, I don't think the Vision thing was like, oh, cool, this is my power now, and I'm just going to do this willy-nilly.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Thanks for covering for me. I had to check. It was something weird happening out there. I'm like, I have to go over and check it out.
Everything okay?
Oh, everything's fine.
Okay.
All right. What's the next question we have?
We asked, the sequel to Face Off is in the works. Who would you want to face off? Who said this? I don't have a name on it.
I think it was me.
Oh, okay. You can't.
I should have put that. Sorry about that. In the communities, the sequel. So we were talking about if they do a new because there's going to be a new Face Off movie. And I wanted to know if there was a movie that comes out, who would you guys want to face off? I eliminated Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds because that's the obvious one. And then some people kind of had some funny answers to that. We had Zach Galifianakis and was it Hailee Steinfeld, and we had Dave Bautista and Peter Dinklage. I'm like, come on.
Oh, that'd be fun. I feel like they're both actually not that Zach Galifianakis isn't funny, but I feel like Dave Bautista and Peter Dinklage are funny in a way
that I would want them to be in a movie just regardless, but obviously Face Off wouldn't be the one I would put them in. I think the guy whoever was sending that one in was just messing with me, But now I want to see Dave Bautista and Peter Dinklage in a movie now.
I feel like that's actually a very fun pick.
That
like,
would be a very
like
funny
very
movie.
Fun actors to watch. So
there you go. All right, what's the next one?
JFS on Twitter said, which game system was your favorite and what game?
Very interesting. Me growing up, Street Fighter was the game that I always played. All the time. I had that across the board with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis. I always had a Street Fighter game playing that in Mortal Kombat. So me growing up, it was always Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2. Even that Street Fighter 2, they made so many versions. It was the most popular Street Fighter. Instead of just going to Street Fighter 3 or 4 or 5, they were like Street Fighter 2 Special Edition, Street Fighter 2 with flowers, Street Fighter 2 this, Street Fighter 2 that. Like they did Street Fighter 2 so many times. Like literally, now that I think about it, they tricked us into buying that damn game so many times. Street Fighter 2
How
with
much did it actually change, or was it just
Street Fighter 2 with 2 new characters, Street Fighter 2 with 4 new characters, Street Fighter 2 1 different background, Street Fighter 2 on this new console. It's the same game. You're still gonna buy it, you damn idiot. I mean, that's what they did to us. But that was the game. Street Fighter 2. I don't think I've ever played or know what Street Fighter 1 looks like, but I know what Street Fighter 2 looks like. That was me. I don't know. What about you growing up? What did you see?
I'm going to say my favorite game system, just because I have such a personal soft spot for it, is absolutely the Nintendo 64. And okay, so I want to like talk you through my thought process here, because I was like, okay, what games did I was thinking like Harvest Moon, because I sunk so many hours into that as a kid, like trying to make like the girl in the town fall in love with me. Like it was intense. Banjo-Kazooie was a fave. Snowboard Kids 2. I didn't have one, but I figure I didn't miss much. But then I realized my favorite video game of all time, Super Mario 64.
Oh, okay. So you were a 64. What's considered the worst console? So of course you loved it. No, I was joking.
It's just the one I grew up with. Like I don't know a ton. We had a GameCube. My boyfriend has a PlayStation. And I admittedly, like, they are way better games. But if I'm not talking best. I'm probably not the person to give you that answer. But personal favorite is Nintendo 64, and that's Super Mario 64. This is a slight tangent. Have you seen any of the footage from the Mario land they're building at Universal Japan?
No, I haven't.
They are building an entire Mario themed world, and like the president of Nintendo, who keeps referring to himself as Mario's dad in the video, which is just so funny to me, gives a tour. There's an amazing YouTube video where he gives a tour of it, and he like walks into the castle, and it looks like Princess Peach's castle in Super Mario 64. And they have like, I don't know if did you play Super Mario 64? Chris?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so they have like the pictures that look like the paintings in the game that you could jump into, and they're like playing the castle music, and like I got teary-eyed watching it. Like so many, like probably my happiest childhood memory was like my mom would make us set like the kitchen timer for 30 minutes. It's like, that's your game time. And I remember having the timer set, and it was like a rainy day, and there were like cookies in the oven, and my brother and I were each taking our 30 minutes playing Super Mario 64, and it was probably the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, and we got a message in the live chat from Anarchy 1408. And this Cruella looks like she is just wanting to be the worst villain. That's why she will take out the big villain that is currently at the hierarchy of evil, then take her crown as the cruelest person. Yeah, there was a woman in the trailer that looked like maybe she's like because I think Cruella de Vil is like about like fashion and all that, right? And I guess there's a woman that's probably like the queen of fashion, and then Cruella de Vil is gonna come in from the ghetto and come up and rise in the ranks and take her out. That's what I'm assuming. Like, I'm right there with you. I think so too.
Over the course of
like kind of like an anti-hero. I'm Cruella, but that woman is 10 times worse, and I'm gonna take her crown, or some kind of something like that. Maybe
that'd be interesting too. A bit of a like, oh, I tried to take her down and became what I hated.
Yeah. Or maybe she's going to be the nicest woman in the world, and Cruella is just going to be like they're going to just take her down for fun. But that was just something that came in real quick. All right. What's the next question that we have coming in?
Peter Lane. I'm assuming this is in response to a Bill Burr reaction.
Yes.
Okay. Peter Lane says, nearly every teacher I had in school was female. Not one of them ever punished a girl for attacking me. Common responses when I reported it were, maybe she likes you, stop exaggerating, and stop complaining. Movies and television show women hitting men for saying and doing things they don't like. Women laugh at men being castrated on talk shows. Men have reported domestic violence and been arrested themselves. Sorry.
He went on way longer than that, and I told him that I was going to mention him on this whole subject because it's one of those things. And Peter, before you, I'm sorry, his name is not Peter. What was? I'm looking in the live chat. There's a Peter Lane in there. What was this person's name?
That was Peter Lane.
That wasn't. Peter. He's also in the live chat talking about other things too. So I don't want you, if you're still in the live chat, I don't want you to think that I'm attacking you or anything like that. But dude, I grew up in a family that has cops. There are a lot of cops in my family. And I'm gonna tell you, like they told me, like that whole stigma where you think that guys are going to be picked on or talked about because they call the cops. When it comes to domestic violence, yeah, okay. In this world, yeah. I mean, men are we put ourselves up where like men are men and all that stuff, and and like in a dominant kind of a way. So if you get bested or if you get abused by a woman, there's a stigma there. Like you get made fun of by your friends and things, like you get teased. But the law is still the law. What you were talking about on that Bill Burr reaction that Amy did was like, if a guy does it, then we get in trouble. But if a girl does it, they get a slap on the wrist or nothing happens. It's just yeah, you're right. It has happened before, and it will happen. But the opposite happens too. I mean, you based on what you're saying, you're implying that women's prisons are just empty. There are women in prison right now, like probably thousands, millions, who have committed heinous crimes and gotten convicted for it. So I mean, it's not is that world where we're
implying that, because I don't mean to disagree, but that's not what I'm getting from this comment.
I mean, that was the comment that was the reply that I gave. I mean, I didn't put everything that he wrote because it was so long, but it was basic. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do agree with him. I mean, personally, I disagree that there's something to disagree with here, that, and especially talking about it from the perspective of, I apologize for, your personal experiences, and certainly in media, which you bring up, you watch, even to this day, it's one of the last things that we don't really, we're a little more lax on. And yeah, like the woman hitting a guy, or I think it's Wedding Crashers. There's like a whole, and I know that came out 5-10 years ago now, but they're 10 years ago now because I don't know how time works. But there's like the whole plot in that where it's like, oh, she wants to have sex with him and he does, it's like, that's still assault. Someone hitting their partner is still abuse. Like, yeah. I completely understand where you're coming from, Peter, that it is unfortunate that in media, it is something that does get brushed off or played for humor. And it shouldn't, any more than a man hitting a woman or a man assaulting a woman isn't funny. Just anybody doing that to anybody is messed up. So I do understand where you're coming from on that on either direction it isn't okay, and sometimes culturally we treat it like, oh, because it's a woman, it's not as big a deal.
That's true. What he's saying to me, what he's saying does happen, but what I'm saying is that this is my opinion on it. The majority of it comes from. Okay, so when men, we did this in a lot of ways. In my opinion, we've done this to ourselves. We set that standard. We're the men are physically the superiors. So if we get beat by a woman, then that says something about us, and we set that line or that limit.
Yeah, but no man should have to suffer for that cultural standard any more than women should have to suffer for outdated ideals of what femininity looks like.
But that was my point, and I thought maybe I read it wrong. I thought that what he was saying was that it's a shame that all these women get away with this or get away with that, and I'm like, they don't. Like they don't. There are women that are in jail for this.
I didn't see it as an attack on women, but more just, this is my personal experience as a man, that I don't feel.
Like when a woman, if a woman, like it is true. Like there are women who think they can weaponize it. Like I can do this against you and hit you, and if I call the cops, I can tell the cops that you did it to me. That is true, and that does happen. But there are still men who are also abused and are in abuse that can be abused too. I remember when I was putting this. I mean there are men who have abused, like, for example, like in like that the whole story about with like the Catholic Church, like they will abuse people, and then instead of getting punished or fired or anything, they would just get transferred. I mean, right. Like things like that. I mean, like there are double standards and there are things that happen, but for the whole thing about women getting away with this and that and the other, I feel like that's mostly true only because I feel like honestly, I just feel like men created it because
I just feel like it's less women get away with this all the time and more just like as a man, it's very hard to speak out because it's culturally become more of a punchline. And again, talking especially from like a media perspective, it's the that's funny
because honestly, other men will make fun of men if they are like, if like when I was growing up, if a guy got beat up by his girlfriend, we would make fun of him versus talk about that's messed up. She broke the law. She should be put in jail. We would talk, how come you couldn't best her and stuff. So, and to me, that's the problem. We shouldn't, she shouldn't get a pass.
It's all a cultural, it's a lot of why it's like, I feel like men try to bring this up. I feel like we got real heavy here, but men try to bring this up as a point against feminism.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, men are victims, and it's like, no, feminism is all about,
it's the complete. It's different. It's the complete opposite. It's about equality.
Any halfway decent feminist is going to be saying, no, I am against toxic masculinity, in part because it creates systems like that, like what you're describing.
And I think Peter is with us live. And like I said, Peter, if I got what you were saying wrong, let me know. If you're still in the live chat, I think you're in the chat right now. But Peter, you gotta admit that us guys, we've also, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm trying to be like I'm team feminist and whatnot. And what I am a feminist, but I'm not trying to put us men down. I am a man, but we do this to ourselves. We're like, hey dude, if you got your ass kicked by a girl, that means you're a bitch or something like we tease each other. We do that to each other. I've done that. My friends have done that to me. And that's a stick. Like if you get beat up by a girl, that means that it can't be because that girl had skills or was somehow a bit better or something. It means that it's something against you. We do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? It's something. I
guess my only real thought on the matter is abuse is abuse, assault is assault.
Yeah. I just don't want to be in a situation where we're like,
my heart goes out to anyone who experienced
exactly. And I don't want to be in a world where we're like, there have been women in the world that have like weaponized it and whatnot, gone to court. I know they're going to believe me more than you because I'm a woman and you're a man. Yes, that definitely happens. But there are, we've seen those episodes of Cops where the guy's in his wife beater, he's got a bloody face and the wife is like, yeah, I kicked his ass. And then she gets taken to jail. I'm like, it happens.
Yeah.
Maybe one thing happens more than the other, but from when I read the post, it felt like you were saying that women never get punished, and that's just not true. Women do.
Not what I read it as, but again, I'm not.
If I read it wrong, if I read it the wrong way, I apologize. But I just kind of want to put that out there. Like there are women in jail for committing domestic violence, and as men. So my uncle is a sheriff of a county, and he told me years ago, like, if you're ever in a situation, it doesn't matter if it's a woman, if she's being violent, she's breaking, call the cops. I mean, if I call the cops because my wife was beating me up and I didn't want to fight back and I don't want to be in that situation, and they were like, "Well, be a man," and then I would turn it on to those cops, like, give me your name and badge number because you're not doing your job. Like that's just me. Like I could have probably physically handled it, but I don't want to. I would rather the police handle it, and I'm not afraid to call the police on that. That's just me. But there's a lot of men who are afraid to call the police because they don't want to be looked at as weak. If that makes sense, that's kind of what I wanted to explain on it from my end of it. But that's me. All right, but thanks, Peter, for all right, because I see you in the live chat, so I appreciate you sticking around for that. But let's move on to the next topic.
So we got an Amy asks, what did I ask? Classic me. Amy asks, if you could see any movie from any era on the big screen with a packed audience, what movie would you pick? Zanny Zone, I love this answer. This was super well thought out. It said, as in being in the audience in a cinema at the time of its release or just a normal screening. In the first case, it would be something from the golden age of Hollywood, like Top Hat or King Kong. I'd love to see the audience reaction back then. In the second, I'd like to see a screening of Metropolis with the full orchestra treatment, like they did when they presented its digital restoration years ago. I just think that's a super intelligent answer. I was thinking more modern day, like take a movie from any era and watch it now, but I love the idea of like if you could be at opening night of any movie in history.
Yeah,
I think that's also really cool.
I thought about this one, and it's like there's so many epic there's more than one answer, so there's so many movies that I would love to see. I'm the kind of guy that I can watch. I'm about to sneeze, try not to sneeze. I'm the kind of guy that it could be a movie that I've seen a million times, but if I'm watching it with somebody who's never seen it, I can revisit it. I can re-experience it again, almost for the first time again through them. And I'm sitting there like, are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying it? This is the best part about to come up. So there's a bunch of movies that I would love to take a friend who's never seen it to the big screen and go experience it. So there's more. Clerks. I wish I would have seen Clerks for the first time in the theaters. I wish I would have seen. So many movies that I didn't see in the theaters that I would love to go back and then take a friend with me. So there was not just one answer for me, but yeah, it's a great.
I feel like there's so many brilliant answers, like big gorgeous movies. Like I said, I love the idea of like seeing something like King Kong back when that was like mind-boggling.
I wonder what the Wizard of Oz was like seeing in the theater.
You know that story?
Which one?
Like the like really, really, really early days of film where like the train came right at the screen and everybody ran out. That'd be my pick. But
I was about to say, I wonder what the Wizard of Oz was like watching in the screen in the theaters.
But I will say, in the way I meant the question, which was like an old movie with like just a packed house today. I wouldn't, because that'd be a bad idea right now. But when it's safe, I would say maybe, honestly, and it's not even like my 10 out of 10 favorite movie, but maybe something like Airplane. I just feel like a comedy, and that I feel like just is one of those movies that has maybe the most like jokes per minute of any movie. So just hearing a full house like love and laugh and like, I made myself sad. I'm like, I miss hearing an audience laugh.
Peter says definitely The Princess Bride. He would love to have gone to see that one.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's pick. Yeah.
On the big screen.
Cult. It's usually people's answers are like cult classics. Maybe they didn't do that great in the theaters, but afterwards they became cult classics. And it's like, I wish I could have gone back and shown some love.
I would give $1 million to be able to just like go to a midnight screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show right now. It's not my answer to the question, but just hearing that, and like I miss being in a packed house of like people yelling.
Yeah,
so much.
I still haven't watched that. It's great. I don't know if you love it or not. We've done a segment about that.
Go if there's like a screening of it at midnight, and like this is to anyone watching. Like if you are curious about Rocky Horror, like wait until the world comes back and look at like in your town if there is a midnight showing that does like the shadow cast and everything. It is such a fun and wild and just kind of crazy fun experience. I highly recommend.
I'd rather watch the Disney movie Three Ninjas. Let's go watch that.
Also, just like it's so good. We go every Halloween, like around Halloween this year, notwithstanding.
No Hocus Pocus.
Oh, I do Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
But we go to theater in LA and do the shadow cast. Shout out to Sins of the Flesh.
There you go. All right.
They're really good.
What's the next?
They do like a whole shadow cast, like they have actors like reenacting the movie. It's an absolute wild good time.
Yeah.
If you're not sober, don't go sober. So that's my.
Oh no, I'm not sober now. What's the next one?
I didn't mean it for you. I meant for the audience. I just never want to be that person who's like, you have to get drunk to do this, because it's not everybody's bag. Our last question. In light of Gina Carano and Justin Timberlake's responses, share your thoughts of people's idea of what cancel culture is.
You want to go first or you want me? I mean, I ranted on this one. Me and you were going back and forth on text. But did you want to go first on this one or me?
I don't know. I'm scared. I feel like we already got heavy. So.
I mean, I said. I mean, what did I say to you on the text? I mean, I feel like everybody's all up in arms about the term cancel culture because it just has a name, but it's not new. Cancel culture has always existed. I mean, Salem witch trials. All you had to do was accuse a woman of being a witch, and bam, she got canceled.
The idea of that is cancel culture is slightly funny to me.
It's crazy. I mean, people want to pretend like this is something new just because Twitter is involved. It's not. I mean, when this country was first established, it was a far right, then for the longest time center right country.
Alexander Hamilton when he slept with that lady. I saw the musical. You're telling me that's not cancel culture?
Right. Exactly. I mean, back in the day when anything wasn't considered appropriate for the nuclear family, the Christian family, and what it got canceled. The hippies and liberals were something that were considered something to be made fun of and pushed down. And your damn hippies, I mean, they were canceled
in the days
all the time.
I mean, McCarthyism, with like if you were even loosely associated with communism, even with no real proof, that would destroy your entire career.
Yeah. You would be canceled. Just because it has a clever name or a hashtag now doesn't mean it's something. Everybody's always on the internet. I hate cancel culture. You didn't hate it when it was working in your benefit. I'm like when they pushed back something that you against, when they were against something that you were against, and whatnot. It's the same exact thing. I mean, is it more weaponized now? I guess maybe. But imagine if Twitter existed back in 1955. Jesus, what would have happened back then? God, I mean, the level of what was going on back then, and in the 70s, and even in the 80s. I mean, 90s, and all that stuff. I mean. The only people think that just because social media, because the information is getting around faster now, that this is something new. It's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. We just have a new way of arming it, and we have a new name for it. But cancel culture, that's been around since the beginning of time. I mean, the first people, I would say that the first. You know what? I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
God canceled Adam and Eve because they ate some fruit.
Did you eat that damn fruit? You're canceled. Get out of Eden. You know?
Hashtag.
Cancel culture is not anything new, but everybody's up in arms about Gina Carano. Let me tell you something about Gina Carano. I'm gonna go.
God canceled the earth. He was like, "Noah, you're not canceled. Everybody else."
Yeah, he canceled the entire. Yeah, exactly. But let me tell you something about what Gina Carano. Everybody's always comparing about Pascal. Well, Pascal said what he said about comparing the conservatives to Nazis and things like that and stuff. Yeah, he did. And then Disney, just like Disney did for Gina Carano, they talked to him, and he stopped doing it. They gave Gina Carano so many chances after what happened with the director of, what was the director of Suicide Squad, or not? What was his name? From Guardians of the Galaxy, the director of
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn. I mean, he was canceled because a congressman that doesn't like him, that is going back and forth with him, dug up some old tweets that James Gunn did from back in the day, like 10 years ago, when he was trying to be funny and stuff. And Disney fired him on the spot. They didn't give him a chance. They didn't give him a warning. They fired him, and he was straight up canceled. But Gina Carano was saying what she was saying about wearing masks, about conservative stuff and things like that online. And Disney was like, you need to stop this. Like, don't do it again. They gave her multiple chances, and she kept doing it. Dave Pascal did the same thing, and they told him to stop, and he stopped. So it's like everybody's talking about freedom of speech. Like, this is not about freedom of speech. This is capitalism. You have the right to say, Amy, if you said something that was against us, something that I thought that was bringing negative attention to this outlet, you have the right to say what you want to say, but I also have a right to disassociate. I've recently done that. I'm a real estate broker, and I used to have an agent that used to work for me like 3 years ago, and then sometime last year, something her husband said on Facebook came back to me. Somebody reached out to me on Facebook and was like, does this woman work for you? Because her husband is saying all this racist stuff, and this blah blah. We're coming after her, and I was like, I haven't worked with this woman in 3 years. That is all. I had to make a statement. That is all. Whatever her and her husband are saying on Facebook has nothing to do with me. I let her go 3 years ago. So have at it. Like, don't bring me a part of that. She and her husband has the right to say what they were saying, but I also have the right to not want to be a part of that. And if she was currently working with me at the time when she was saying that online and her husband was saying that, I would have let her go because I have that right. Like, just because you like Gina, people out there who like Gina Carano, doesn't mean that Disney has to associate with them. Like, you want to cancel Disney. That's
right. Follow her career. Go get a parlor account and follow it. Like, no one is silencing her. She still has a platform. She still has the right to say what she wants to say. It's not canceled. I hate the phrase cancel culture because it means nothing. Yeah, exactly. It meant something and then it means nothing now.
It's
like your employer fired you because you either were running the risk of losing them money because people were going to stop like watching what you were on, or if you're not a celebrity on a smaller scale, they don't want you associated with their business because of actions you took. You have the right to take those actions. Your employer has the right to respond how they feel is appropriate. And if they feel like you are putting a bad light on their brand, on their business, they can fire you for that. People can choose to not associate with you. People can choose
disassociation
to not follow your work. That's not cancel culture. That's just, you have the right to say what you want. Businesses and people have the right to respond accordingly.
It's capitalism. It's the purest form of capitalism, which is what everybody pretends like they're all about. But when it happens, when it works again, and this is nothing new. People get fired all the time. You go to your job and you're out of dress code or out of compliance, or you do something that makes the company look bad. You go to work, you clock in and punch a customer in the face. You're gonna get fired because you're making the company look bad. I mean, this happens all the time, but it's like when this happens, if this was to happen to a liberal person, of course, other liberals would say you're only doing it because they're liberal. If it happens to a conservative person, of course, their supporters are going to say you're only doing this to them because they're conservative. But the true answer is no. We just don't. We hired. I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna pretend to be Disney. Disney hired Gina Carano to play a part in The Mandalorian. They did not hire Gina Carano to take on all her other, BS that she wants to do on Twitter. We didn't hire you for that. We're giving you this money to play this to play this character. We didn't hire you to get a bunch of questions from people like, why are you working with a person that does it? We didn't hire you for all that. So please stop doing it. If you want us to keep working with us on this and to keep getting this platform here on our show, please stop bringing this attention to us for all that other stuff. And she thought that being a Twitter martyr was more important, so she kept doing it. So Disney was like, okay, well then we don't want to pay for give you a paycheck to be on our show anymore because it's just going to keep bringing all that crap to us that we've told you we don't want to be associated with. She made her choice. They made her choice. It's capitalism.
I will say this real fast, and then we've probably spent
way too much time on this, right? What you say?
My conspiracy theory is that she wanted to be fired. Because
Me too.
Yeah. No, I absolutely think she intentionally pushed the envelope and said something. You knew when you compared it to yourself to Jews in the Holocaust, you were going to get your ass fired. Just because Walt Disney hated the Jews doesn't mean you can.
And even worse, here's the worst thing. Even if that wasn't her goal, even if this was a surprise to her, she didn't think that she was going to get fired. That's even worse because
not know that was going to get you fired.
Let's hope if she orchestrated it, that I mean, okay, but if she didn't, now she's like, oh, well, that's cool. I'm going to go on the Ben Shapiro thing and we're going to do. You're going to compare that to what you would have gotten on you were on your way to getting your own Disney show.
Making that Star Wars licensing money the rest of your life.
This is the reason why Pascal stopped. Everybody wants to make it about him. Say, well, he got away with it. How come? He did it. He did it again. They told him to stop. He stopped.
Yeah.
And she did not. So that's comparing apples to spaceships. She did it. She had multiple. She got way more chances than James Gunn got. Let's just put it like that. And she didn't stop. So I don't feel sorry for her. Did I like her as that character? Even though I don't agree with her politics, do I like her as that character? I loved her as that character. I thought it was awesome. She was great. But do I feel sorry for her? No. Because if she thought that was more important than getting her own show. Look, if it was me, I'd have stopped. I believe what I believe, but I won't put it on Twitter. Fair enough. That's just me. But that was the last one, right?
Yep.
So, guys, I just wanted to get that off the table because a lot of that has been coming down the pipeline on the community tabs about how it was unfair and this and that and the other. And I'm not gonna probably change a lot. If you're 100% aimed at it was unfair, then you're gonna believe nothing I'm gonna say is gonna change your mind. But the facts are the facts. She had multiple chances. She decided to do what she did, and actions have consequences. And if you support American businesses, then you support Disney's decision. Okay, that's all I got to say about that.